So this first video is just to review upper and lower motor neuron pathways and then clinical signs and symptoms. So we've already drawn the brain. We've got the primary motor strip here. These are the cell bodies for the upper motor neurons that live here. They cross, they go through the internal capsule, cross the medulla, blah, blah, blah. And they come down and they synapse on an alpha motor neuron whose cell body lives in the spinal cord, and its axon goes out into the periphery to its respective muscle groups. So here I've drawn a cervical level pathway, and here's a kind of a lumbar level pathway, just to show what we talk about when we have upper and lower motor neuron signs. So this is the intact system. These red diagrams, this represents a muscle spindle. This is a sensory neuron, so the cell body is out in the dorsal root ganglion, but it sends its projection back into the cord, where it then gets sent back up to the brain, okay, for conscious sensation. But it also sends a collateral to synapse on the alpha motor neuron, and this is the deep tendon reflex loop, okay? So this is your DTR for your biceps. This would be your DTR for, we're gonna pretend that's going to that muscle. And so we've got these reflex loops that actually are inhibited a bit, there we go, by the descending upper motor neurons, so that we move voluntarily more so than we have reflexive muscle contractions. So this reflex loop is actually suppressed a bit by this descending input to the motor neuron, so that we choose to move voluntarily more so than having this active reflex. Okay, so this is the intact system, and this is a healthy system. This has voluntary activation of a muscle and reflexive reaction if you test the DTRs. So what happens if there's a pathology? Okay, so let's say that there's a spinal cord injury, okay, that happens up here. Okay, so this might be like C3 or C4. So now I'm gonna, the next video is gonna kind of zoom in on this area and look at the impact it's having on the pathways above and below. So I'm gonna just stop for